Good morning and welcome to our town at Common Coffee. This morning we're going to be talking with Rob Joyner, who is running for Ward 1 Board of Supervisors seat. Right now we're going to take a short break for a word from our sponsor.
What's the role of a healthcare system? Is it to make you better when you're sick? To mend you when you're injured? Are you ready to live healthier? Start today at herestoyourhealth.net, a free service of Carson Tahoe Regional Healthcare.
And we're back, and we're talking with Rob Joyner. Hi, Rob. How are you doing this morning?
Very well. Thanks for having me in.
All right. And you've decided to throw your hat in the ring to run for the Board of Supervisors. So tell us why did you want to do that?
Well, I think because of my experience in serving in local government for my entire career, 32 years, and being here in Carson City since 1984, a native of the area, and just wanting to give back. I retired in January, and so I have too much energy and time, and I care too much about what the issues are in Carson City to just sit idle. And I figure if you're going to step up and speak up, you might as well go all the way and throw your hat in the ring. So I've had people ask me about it, and I committed myself to doing it.
All right. Last night there was the forum for the candidates, and everybody was there, and a lot of the talk was talking about businesses, bringing businesses here, redevelopment, things like that. Now, your background is really doing redevelopment and doing those businesses. Explain that a little bit.
Well, most of my career has been working with economic development, redevelopment, and here in Carson City for 18 years doing exactly that. You know, we talked last night about what downtown used to look like in the mid-'80s and what we've done to get it to this point, and it's glad to see it carrying on, and the Business Development Association and things going on down here. But you know, there were every other building boarded up. There was police calls, inordinate amounts that they had to shut businesses down. It was an unsafe situation. And we've come a long ways from that, but we've got a ways to go. And in this economy, I think it's a great time to reassess and rebuild and see what the community wants going forward.
Yeah, I guess that is something to think about. That, you know, what the downtown looked like 15 years ago. You know, when I first came down here, you know, there was a lot of stuff then. The Lucky Spur, or what, you know, and some of the other ones that you helped, you know, work it out. So, and then now from there you went on to Sparks. And you were working for City of Sparks.
Right. In 2002, I was recruited to work for Sparks, long-range planning, and then created the first government affairs program for their legislative program, both state and federal. Yeah. So that gave me some also good perspective into how to deal with state and federal governments on helping local governments.
That's so you ended up coming back to Carson City to lobby, basically.
I did, and managing other lobbyists. Yes. So I have a great perspective to that.
And Sparks, you know, is, you know, has really grown a lot, you know, in terms of what they've done. I mean, the whole that whole you know, the marina that's there,
Absolutely.
You know, the Legends thing and all that,
Absolutely.
and you were involved in.
You know, speaking of economy, we were told in a study that we had done by the same group that did a study here recently, Meridian, that if we didn't diversify our economy and not rely so much on our residential tax base and be, you know, basically a bedroom community to Reno, that we would not have the funding to pay for our essential services. I mean, essential services for our residents. So we diversified the master plan, recruited all of that new commercial in North Sparks and at the marina, and it's helped our economy until, of course, the downturn now. But I think we did it very prudently.
All right. So now jumping in this race, I mean, there's see, how many candidates are in this?
Six in my race.
Six in your race. So it's quite a crowded field. So, but anyway. You know, so you know, there's a lot of issues. What's the number one issue you think is?
Well, the number one issue is where we want to go from here, and what kind of jobs we want to create, protecting the base of community of businesses we have now, seeing what kind of business to business we should recruit, and then going forward.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's take a little break, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the subject.
I'm Charlie Morello, owner of Allied Tires, and this is my great dog, Tyler. For the past 40 years, Allied Tire has been Carson City's hometown tire and auto repair shop, selling quality tires at a great price. To jumpstart the winter tire selling season, I have priced all Cooper tires to the lowest price of the year. Purchase a set of Cooper tires and receive free mounting, tire rotation, and free flat repairs for the life of the treads. Come in soon and get a great deal on Cooper tires. Allied Tire is located on Highway 50 East, across from the post office.
And we're back and talking with Rob Joyner, talking a little bit about, you know, some of the challenges facing the city that we got, and some of the issues that you're going to be dealing with in this supervisor's race. Of course, bringing jobs, bringing businesses here. you know, so what can we do? You have a background in doing this.
Well, I think it's a good time, as I say, to reassess. One of the things you have to understand is that in Nevada, we don't have home rule. We don't have the authority to grow our own resources until we get permission from the state. There's been discussion at the state level for several sessions now, ongoing now in the interim between the two sessions, to look at giving the local government some authority. We need that because they're rebalancing their budget. They have to balance their budget. And you see in the past they've done it on the backs of local government. They swept funds from counties such as Carson City, and we can't allow that to happen. We have to have a dialogue and be at the table, and I think I want to help Carson City be a better force and look out for ourselves and get our fair share and help restructure that revenue source. So that's one major thing I think we should be doing.
Okay. Now, last night at the forum, one of the big topics of discussion, of course, was the Nugget Project, the so-called Nugget Project. Now, what's your stand on that?
Well, again, background in redevelopment. Redevelopment is a wonderful tool if it's used properly, but I don't have blind faith in any one project, and that I see as I've talked to folks in city government and along the street here in the business community that would benefit from that, or it could be a detriment to them if it's not done right. I still have a lot of questions. You know, would we lease property and put a public facility on private property, or shouldn't we own that? Because don't forget one thing, if you fund something with tax increment financing, and it's not a complicated thing, it's just a way of using some of your property tax above the base level. If that doesn't hold true in an economy like this, when the proceeds are not coming in, you have to back that up with general fund monies. So I want to be very cautious how we go forward with taxpayers' dollars. You know, I'm on a fixed income now. A lot of people I talk to they're very concerned about how their taxes are going to be used going forward. We all subsidize redevelopment projects to some degree or another, and that project has both 1/8 of a cent sales tax in it. It has some community development block grant monies into it that could and should be used maybe for other things. So there's a lot of discussion that I think the community needs to have before that is a real project.
Right, and I guess, you know, some of the big questions, there's not a developer picked yet.
Right.
I mean, it's still very much in conceptual stage, even though they have a fairly specific timeline about what they want to do.
Right, but they're doing letters of intent. They're going down a path that they may be committing things at the supervisors level that could be difficult to pull back or could cost us money. Look what happened in Reno with their baseball stadium. Great project, don't get me wrong. In Sparks, we decided to let that project go. Some of the reasons were they wanted us to guarantee some revenue. We couldn't do that. Look what happened to the economy. Reno just wrote a check for $1 million that they just laid 200 people off, or in the process of laying 200 people off, cutting salaries, cutting essential services to their citizens, and writing a check to a private developer for a recreation project. Is that something we want to get into? And some of the same proponents of that project are here consulting with Carson City. I think we should be very careful.
All right. And so what's some of the other issues that you would like to, you know, tackle as supervisor?
Well, I care about the quality of life here. I care about our public safety. I think that's a top priority, and we need to put resources there. It's a great opportunity now for the citizens to reassess their essential services, their priorities, and see what we need to fund. I'm for public safety, growing the economy, and maintaining our quality of life. It's a jewel, and we need to protect it. I want to live here the rest of my life. I want to serve the citizens here on a nonpartisan basis for the rest of their lives.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, talking with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to Our Town at Common Coffee. We'll see you next time.
Sometimes a simple thing like walking downstairs can become a life-threatening experience.
Help me! I've fallen!
I'm Janice Ayers, and we have a solution for less than $1 a day. It's called Lifeline, where you push a button and automatically through your phone system you summon emergency medical help, life-saving help. For Lifeline information, call RSVP today.